We know I've got my eye on this one, right? The chances of me fighting the winner could be it. Dana White said when Movzar was fighting Pico, most likely the winner was who I'd face. That's what he said. So now Lerone Murphy, you've got guys like your Rodriguez, Lerone Murphy, Movzar. These are all guys that are right there. Lerone Murphy's on like a 7-fight win streak or something. So his name, like he's almost in a position where he deserves it anyway. I win again? Surely. Surely he gets it, right? I think it's well deserved. Now let's get into this fight. Aaron Pico, prospect from a very young age. Great boxer. Great wrestler, right? He come into wrestling and did boxing. Like, you hear stories about him being training partners for guys like Mikel Cotto's and, maybe Manny Pacquiao. Can't remember who it is, and doing work at a very young age. So this kid's got hands. Very dangerous. So if you've got someone that's not really cluey or very strategic or, that's scrappy, he's putting hands on you. Got good wrestling. But he was an all-American wrestler. Now, a lot of all the wrestlers might not like this. A lot of these wrestlers, they used to wrestle and think, that's something that they don't need to work on. MMA, you need to work. I wrestle guys. I did a bit of wrestling when I was younger. You get a lot of guys that are really good wrestlers, but then when it comes to MMA wrestling with the grappling involved on the cage or the scrambling, it ends up being problems for them. And that could be the case here. It really could. Now, Lerone Murphy, before I get into watching some of their stuff, as I said with Aaron Pico, I haven't watched enough of him. I'm going to watch some of his highlights here. We know enough, right, to know that he's going to have wicked hands. So he's going to be speed. He's going to be young, athletic, all that sort of stuff. But I did tell you, you come in brawling with him, you're going to have problems. You're going to need strategy. You're going to need game plan. You're going to need to know how to fight right. You need to know how to fight at a longer range, not a boxing range. You need to know how to turn him. You need to know how to, you know what I mean? There's got to be a lot that comes into play. Lerone Murphy is that guy that will give you them problems. 100%. Lerone Murphy, a lot of people want to act like, he's having a hard time because he's not just going out there and finishing guys like that. He's a very smart fighter, very well-rounded. It's great wrestling, great MMA wrestling, very strategic, won't take unnecessary risks. That's a bad matchup for Aaron Pico, I think. And we've got an underdog here. This might be my first underdog pick here. Aaron Pico, look, I haven't watched enough of him. I will watch some here. But, I mean, still, even if he blows my mind here, let's get into it. Let's watch some right now. How do I look for him? Aaron Pico. Let's look. Already landed a big bomb here. Again, you come in aggressively at him like that. Boom, on the inside. There's that boxing range right there. You've seen it. Everything was him in this position. Creeps his way in. Boom, big shots. Aggressive. You don't want to be standing in front of him. You stand in front of him in them positions, he's going to do work. Works the body, beautiful body work. Big shots over the top. You are there, you're worried about this body shot. Bang, the big shot's coming over the top. But boxing range, had to force his way into boxing range to go. Let's see if I can see some different things here. Doesn't want to mess on the ground. That's interesting. All right. He's fighting a long range, finding the right time to come in. Great body work. But again, doesn't do much. Should I be giving too much away? Should I be giving too much away? I'm going to keep it pretty chill. Lerone Murphy's going to give him problems here. Great boxing. This is MMA. You don't want to be standing in front of him. You want to be careful when you're coming in. Lerone Murphy is all these things. I won't give too much away. But again, let's just go through. Let's see other stuff. Mate, incredible body rips, though. Boom. You stand in front of him, he's a problem. Bang, look at that. A lot of people are like, he left this big body rips like that. Yeah, there's openings, but do you want to, when he's set himself in a combo where he can land a body rip, he's in boxing range now. He's in boxing range now. Do we want to counter straight away? You got to be careful. That's his world. Boom. Off the kick. And that looked like it was a setup kick. Unless he's just got hopeless kicks. I doubt it. He's athletic, so I'm sure he's got good kicks if he wants. I think that was more of a setup. I think he just flicked that kick out. Bang, bring himself in. Body rip. If so, beautiful. Beautiful. Finding his way in. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah. See, I've seen enough. Again, you look at them highlights, you look at that boxing, you look at them combos. Whoo! Same as, an Ilia Topuria. A lot of people are like, well, how's he going to do Ilia Topuria? Ilia Topuria can add things in there as well. He's similar there as well, but he is getting much better with other stuff as well. There's a lot more to it than just getting into a boxing range and going. There's a bit more head movement, finding his way in as well. Aaron Pico can be there to be hit on his way in, but that means you're flirting with danger at the same time. And that's what I mean with Lerone Murphy. He ain't going to take unnecessary risks. Not that I know of. Unless he's got, hey, you know what? UFC, the machine. I need a finish. I need a finish so I can fight for the title. Does he get aggressive? That could be a big problem for Lerone Murphy. I don't think so. From what I'm seeing, I'm going Lerone Murphy, quite confident in Lerone Murphy with this one. Again, Pico, very dangerous. It's not a knock to him. I'm just saying styles make fights. The strategy is going to be very important here. I'm sure this is going to be a 5-rounder. Do we know if this is a 5-rounder? I don't know. This could be a 5-rounder. So Lerone Murphy's great at 5 rounds, but that does give Pico a chance to eventually find him. So I'll give him that. But I just think, so he's a big finish there. Oh, nice knee on the way in. Boom. Again, Lerone Murphy, is he going to look for these types of things with Pico? Don't look for a flying knee while he's coming in with your hands down. Pico's coming over the top, taking your head clean off. So you've got to be careful. Pico's no joke. Let's see, a bit of takedown defense here. He went for the neck there. Don't like that. On the inside, see, these are earlier fights. I don't like his earlier fights. Let's look at his later fights. I think he's gotten a lot better. Long attacks here. God did get taken down. Go on the guillotines. Could threaten. He likes to threaten the guillotine. Well, Pico might not want to mess with that. As we seen earlier, old mate went for. We got him down and was like, I'm not messing down there. I'm going to keep it on the feet. That could just be because he just trusts his hands and be like, why mess down there when I can knock you out on the feet? That's all it could have been. But the submission, I think he should be trying to get back to his. I'm not, I'm more defense wrestling first before I jump to submissions. But anyway. Uppercuts here. Looks great. He lands it. Again, not a big fan of this sort of stuff with Pico. But again, this is earlier on. Yeah, let me find some later stuff. Come on. So here's stuff. Long range, fakes on the outside. Fakes at a long range as well. Not faking in close where he can get caught. Aware of the range while he's doing that. See, this is what I mean by the MMA sort of wrestling sort of stuff. Cages are involved. Timing of it. Can Pico get a takedown 100%? Does he want to go 5 rounds of grappling? I don't think he's going to want to do that. This sort of stuff, just I can throw bombs here. I can, have a hold of the leg, shelf the leg a little bit, to knowing that it's going to be hard for him to stand up while I can throw bombs. Just these other little elements to MMA, not your traditional folk style wrestling or just your wrestling or your grappling. A good mix between the two. Look at this sort of stuff. He's caging the hips there where he can't, struggling to get up, lands bombs. That type of stuff could be a problem for Pico. Will Pico get a takedown? Maybe. Does he want to? I don't know. I don't think he should. I think that's going to be something that wears him down more than Lerone Murphy. Lerone Murphy's going to go 5 rounds, even though it's short notice. He's used to that MMA style, scrambly, going 5 round strategies type of fights. With Lerone Murphy, underdog here. Pico, very dangerous hands. Lerone Murphy's going to, I think he's going to just try and stay on the outside and make it hard for Pico to get in the inside. He doesn't want to be on the inside with Lerone Murphy. If when he is on the inside, while he's trying to find his way out, being safe on his exits, I think he's that type of fighter. Or will he clinch himself? Pico's probably going to stop the takedowns, well, the first few anyway. But I mean, all right, he didn't let Pico get his hands off. Then he started to bring that gas tank down, staying on the outside, just being a problem everywhere. Even if Pico's winning some of them problems early, there's all them problems that he has to solve early begin to be a problem for him later. Gas tank, wearing down, starting to freeze, starting to panic and not want to throw things because he's getting himself in a scramble that he doesn't want. Now he's staying on the outside because every time he gets on the inside, they're clinching and he has to wrestle, anti-wrestle, or he has to end up shooting himself. You know what I mean? There's all that stuff end up being like, no, I'm going to sit on the outside. That's Lerone Murphy's world. Now he starts to lose rounds. Then he starts getting desperate. Then he gets taken down himself now that he's tired. You know what I mean? Well, these problems that he's probably going to win early, but the fact that he has to solve them problems aggressively, does that wear on him and begin to be a problem later on? Maybe. I think Lerone Murphy's that guy. I think he could lose the earlier rounds maybe and then just start to do work. Be safe, and the fight just gets safer and safer for him as the fight goes. And then it could easily just end up being his type of fight. Start seeing him out wrestling Pico. He could go there. And he's the underdog. There's one for you. I went for the favourites on all of them. I'm going with the underdog here. Pico's dangerous, right? Pico can get the knockout 100%. 100% he could find that. He's got incredible hands. He's knocked out boxers at high levels before. I guarantee in training with these guys, he's probably put hands. I've even heard stories of him putting hands on people, dropping people in training. So he could definitely knock him out. But Lerone Murphy's going to fight the right fight. So I could be facing the winner here. I'm glad I did a bit of research. We're going to do plenty more. Don't worry about that. I'm already seeing things that I'll do. But anyway, can't give too much away. But, or did I give too much away? Nah, I didn't give too much away. Plenty I could give. I gave the real basic things they use under, basic enough anyway. All right, so there you have it. $2.24, Lerone Murphy. $1.65 for Aaron Pico. I'm going with the underdog here. And I could be facing him, whether it's later in the year, maybe December or something like that. Because they can't do it. It's too quick of a turnaround, right? So I guess later in the year is looking good. Let's see who gets it, because they could be facing the champ. Wait, that's me. That's me. There you have it. What's up, guys? Volk here. Hey, if you're liking what you're seeing, make sure you like, subscribe, click on the bell to keep yourself notified. I appreciate every single one of yous.